Hello there, everybody. Welcome back to another wonderful episode of your Struggling Hunters. You got me, Joe,
And I'm Eric.
and we're excited to get back to you again. Episode 18, kicking along. Been doing. I haven't been doing too much scouting this last week. Got a week. My hunt starts coming up. Hopefully all that are listening, your hunts are starting here pretty soon, and you're getting ready, getting those last minute things. Talking about last minute things this year, it's kind of funny. I picked up a little more last minute things than I thought I would. I thought, I was like, oh, I'm good to go. And I guess one of the last minute things I picked up is I bought a cot, so I won't be on the ground this year. Eric swears that's gonna turn my camping world around.
Oh yeah, it will. It'll make a world of difference out there in the woods. Get a good night's sleep off the ground. You'll be set to go. We won't be able to contain you. You'll be ready, raring to go, hiking all day.
And hopefully that's true, because that's the plan. I guess you got to take care of yourself on that end so you can work hard on the other end.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, so got that that got in the mail last night, and then I got a couple elk calls coming in the mail. I ordered those last night, so that was Monday night. No, actually, take that back. I ordered a cow call tonight, Tuesday night. That hopefully will be here Thursday, and we'll be taking off for deer camp / elk camp this weekend. Yeah, like I said, hopefully those that have been listening, you're excited, because I know both of us are excited. I just can't believe it's time.
I know it feels like it's kind of hit a little too quick, huh?
Well, that's the one thing about the archery season that I mentioned before, last year is the first year I tried archery season, and it was odd, or it hit me. I don't even know what the right word is, but just so much earlier in the season, because I've hunted rifle deer my whole life, or deer and elk, and that's in October, and in my mind, it's like, oh, it's going to cool off, it's going to start getting cold. And then the hunt hits, and archery is just so much earlier. And I was like, kind of getting ready. Then COVID hit, and that kind of slowed up more than I should have. And then it's the hunt.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to kind of not really scramble, but scramble a little bit, it's just crazy. Not used to it yet.
Yeah, I'm with you. It's a little different for me too, man. So I've been trying to. I haven't been going to the gym, obviously, because of the COVID stuff. So I haven't been I haven't been working out there, but I've been trying to do stuff at home and go for a little hike around the neighborhood. I mean, just on concrete, but just trying to get some exercise, do a little jogging whenever I can, and trying to prep up for it. And I've been doing it for the last few weeks, but then it dawned on me, and I'm like, well, so the last few weeks I've been doing it maybe 2 to 3 times a week, kind of just whenever I have the time to do it. And it dawned on me this weekend. I was like, I got 1 week to get in somewhat shape for I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. So I've been trying to do it every day. I mean, it's early in the week so far, but I've been trying to do it every day this week, trying to get a little bit better shape for the hunt. But it was kind of crazy how fast it came.
No, it is yeah, I haven't gotten used to that. I probably will at some point, but it still hits me, and I'm like, oh wow, got the hunt now.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to add too. I also did a few last minute shopping items myself, and So I don't even know if they'll get. It won't be the end of the world if they don't get here by the time I head over to you to
Yeah.
go hunting with you. It won't be the end of the world necessarily, but yeah, it dawned on me to start shopping for that stuff, and so I bought it, or I ordered a couple things this morning, and at best they'll be here, but at worst they won't. So they gave me a window, and so
It's
far
just,
that I don't
sorry.
know. I'm in limbo right now of if it's gonna get here or not.
Yeah, and like like back, not to keep beating this topic, but like I was like, oh, I'm good, and then like the week before, it's like, oh, well, it'd be nice to have this, and you discuss it with the wife and with Jen, and she's like, oh yeah, we can do that, and I'm like, okay, let's do it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly,
Like try to go the
exactly.
whole season, like, oh no, I'm good, I'm not gonna get anything new. I think I can survive, and then something, it's just funny like how it doesn't take much to someone saying something, and you're like, is that possible?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I hear you, man. That cot though, man, you'll never want to sleep on the ground again. I mean, they're just nice. It's just nice getting above the ground like that on those things.
Yeah,
I really enjoy mine so far. That's one thing that I ordered that I don't know if I'll or I got the cot already, but the sleeping pad, I don't know if it'll get here in time, but I think with a sleeping pad and a cot being above ground, you can't go wrong.
true. Well, with that being said, talking about buying these last minute stuff, I think part of it too is like those that follow us at least on YouTube. We got a couple things coming once the hunt gets here. Is we're gonna film the hunt and hopefully be able to make some content there, but also do some. So you guys know Eric has the that canvas tent, that Kodiak tent, and I just got a little Coleman tent, and I'm gonna sleep in that. We'll do a little comparison with those two. And we'll have and then you'll probably get to see a handful of the things that our last minute purchases that will probably make the cut for our video that will be going out on YouTube.
Yeah. What
And
what Joe's really trying to say is if we get in a rainstorm, he's gonna come sleep in my tent.
maybe.
No, all jokes aside, though, it'll be fun. We plan on basically trying to squeeze in as much content as we can and doing a couple different videos for the channel and really stepping up the content. Hopefully, I mean, we're also trying to hunt hard too, so it's going to be a mixture of all this stuff. And our appetite might be a little bit bigger than our stomach, but I don't know if that's the right saying or not, but it sounded good at coming out at first until I
Right.
actually said it. Then I'm like, I don't know if that's right. But anyway, um, yeah, we have a lot of plans. So we're going to try to get a podcast or two in, make content for the channel. And then also make a hunting video, hopefully a successful one.
True. That's what I'm banking on, is hopefully some success. Like, I'm actually I probably shouldn't say it, but I'm putting all my eggs in this weekend to get a deer.
Yeah.
I want to hunt hard enough that I can get a deer, then start focusing just strictly on the elk the rest of the season.
Yeah.
And I'll probably, being in Utah, that have the late hunts too for the late season for the archery. I'm probably going to bank a little bit more on that and just focus the first weekend. But I really hope I can get one the first weekend, so that way that's just one thing ticked off the list, and then moving on to the elk. With that being said, I think I talked about it before, but I'm been trying to decide how selective I want to be. Like, am I going to take the first buck that comes up, or I'm like, oh, it's only open in the morning, or it's only a little spike. I don't know. Like, I don't, because like it's two things for me. I enjoy the hunting experience and I enjoy the table fare, but at the same time, it's like, well, I know it probably doesn't sound fair to the animal, but like, oh, you're just not what I'm looking for. I'm not that I'm a trophy hunter, but it's one of those things that probably in the moment I'll have to decide.
Well, I don't blame you there, but I I feel like more often than not though, whenever you turn down that first opportunity, like
You always wish you would have taken it.
yeah, day 3, day 4, when it like the day, you're like, I should have just taken it the first day.
Right.
I think you always carry that regret.
If it's a good decent buck, I'm for sure gonna try to take a shot at it. But it's just like one of those. Do I have a cutoff? If it's a spike or a 2 point, is that I just say, well, I like something a little bit more mature, or is it just whatever comes across?
Yeah.
Because you think I kind of look at it. It's like one of those things. Am I as prepared as I can be for this hunt? I don't know. And I say that as I guess fairness to the animal, respect to the animal, because you know it's one of those things. As your hunting skills get better, you start understanding where the bigger bucks are going to be. You start developing the patience to hunt the bigger bucks. So the young bucks are going to make mistakes, which is probably why you're seeing the young bucks, because you're making mistakes too, because they're learning and you're learning. And I don't know how much of that. That's just the theory that I have in my head. And so it's just that whole learning game and trying to get you in the situation to harvest something a little bit older. So you got to hunt a little harder, I guess, and a little different than just plowing through the woods, having a game plan.
Yeah.
But too, with that being said, and trying to get the deer out of the way, I'm probably going to hunt a little more aggressive. I think we talked about it last week and in a couple of weeks, wanting to plan on staying out all day, not going back to camp. But, I'm kind of planning on not really going back. I'm not going to be too worried if I ruin the area. Does that make sense? Like, if I'm still going to try to hunt smart, keep the wind where it needs to be, and not run around the woods, but yet, try not to be scared to make my way through the woods.
Yeah. I know what you're saying. I mean, that makes sense because, I mean, we're kind of planning because you're kind of thinking the first day, especially, we might only hit that one day, right? And then we might move on to another
Right.
area. So you kind of have nothing to lose. You're either going to run into something or you're not.
Right.
And through doing that, yeah, you might jump the area and get them on the move, and they might not come back, but that doesn't bother you because you're not going back there either.
Correct. Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Yeah, makes perfect sense.
But yeah, so I mean, that's going to be, I'm kind of interested to see how it turns out, because it's, no matter what, it's going to be a learning experience. It's not going to be, no matter, we're going to be in the woods. We're going to be taking our time going through the woods and trying to, to see what the forest floor can tell us as far as tracks and what, trees being rubbed on and water holes. If we come across how much activities at those, like, so we'll be trying to gain intel, so no matter what, we're going to be learning, and which is probably the number one thing of the whole thing.
Yeah. To add to that is I'm kind of curious how much we retained after, since we've started this podcast, all the research we've done about vegetation, and I'm kind of curious how we're going to react to what we've retained through those podcasts, and how we'll notice things differently than we probably have in the past,
Right.
and see if we get a step on them.
That's true. That's because, like I said, I think I said it last week. Like I get out there and I kind of, not that I throw everything out the window, but you get up on a glassing point and you just kind of be like, oh, I can look over a lot of area. And so I don't really find myself focusing in on the areas where I think the deer should be. My mind, like I said, my mind just goes and I just go, I have this whole view in front of me, from this ridge over here to this ridge over here, and the valley clear out in front of me, and I can almost see the ridge, clear out there, and I'll just kind of take it all in and just look at everything, and so I get out there and people talk about how they'll do a grid pattern, uh, spot in an area or working their way through. They'll work their way left to right and then drop down a little bit, and then go work their way back over, drop down a little bit, and work their way back over. And so like I kind of, I'm like I do that, but I don't know that like I said, I throw everything out the window and I don't focus on where I think they should be. I just go into the mode of, well, I got a lot of area in front of me, so there's a lot of places where they could be.
Yeah. My problem is kind of similar to that. I feel like what I do is I tell myself, I'm like, well, in this case, if I was a buck, I would be right here, right? Because my bias is I want them in the middle of a opening broadside to me. So I'm like, they should be right here, right here. If I was a buck, I would be out in the opening for somebody like me, and I kind of lose track of what they actually do.
Right.
Because of my bias of me wanting them to be out in the open.
Right. You want it to be easy.
I'm wanting it to be easy, so I'm like, yeah, they should be down in this little valley, right in this nice little patch of grass and right in the open, and
Right.
I don't know. So I think,
So I think that's the one thing is we might need to, or at least what I'm going to try to do is just have a sheet of paper kind of someplace and have like little things like, am I looking in this area? Am I checking this type of a hillside? So that way I kind of bring myself back to.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea to have some kind of reference to keep you on track of what you're looking for.
I mean, it's like we said before, though, like it's all relative in a way because, like, not there. I'm sure it's out there somewhere, but I haven't found it yet. But like the ideal place where no matter what, your quarry is always going to be there. Like it has the right amount of water, the right amount of vegetation, the right amount of shade, the right amount of breeze. There's that just doesn't exist. And so, the animals are always going to be somewhere and it may not have everything, but it's going to have a lot of something.
Yeah.
And just trying to, clue into that, whether it's distance from people or, the wind is in their favor. I don't know what all that stuff is all the time. I'm sure it's different in every area, but it's just finding that area that has enough of what they want to live in that spot.
Yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I think it all just comes down to luck.
Exactly. And that's like end of story. It's just luck and being out in the woods.
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing too, is the more you're out there, the more things you're going to see, the more chances that you're going to be able to see something.
And that's like one of the fun things that I enjoy about being out in the woods, at least hunting too in general, is the opportunities is get to see what you get to see.
Exactly.
And that's going from the scenic view, like the sunsets, the mountain views you get to see, to the different critters you get to experience. And just the outdoor life that you don't get to see unless you're out in it.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more.
So I was driving along 2 weekends ago, and the sun, it sounds kind of cheesy, I know, but the sun was hitting like this little creek just perfect, and it had like the right light to it. And it's like, man, that looks like a great picture. And I just had my cell phone and I was trying to snap a picture of it. And it's like, man, the picture just doesn't capture what I'm seeing.
Yeah. I think that happens a lot. It's hard to capture that especially on a cell phone.
Yeah. But, but it was just one of those moments of like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I come across. Well, what I usually do is I go, this would be a great picture. Moving on. I don't even try for the picture sometimes. I got to get better about that since we're trying to make content and stuff. Try to get a little bit better about that for social medias. And, I mean, not to segue, but maybe to segue for a little bit. Speaking of that, like, doing this podcast and trying to get in the podcast world, like the social media stuff and even the YouTube stuff, there's so much more to it than what meets the eye. And, me and Joe, I mean, we're still learning, but yeah, that's been kind of a journey on its own, trying to get better about posting more stuff on our social medias. And
Well, yeah, true. Like that's the one thing is we're growing up in this day and age, and yeah, we got smartphones and all that, but like I don't quite know how to do all the media stuff, like what's all available there and how to use it and whatnot, like I'm still of the mindset of like, oh, maybe I'll make a post or I'll rob someone else's post and be like, hey, here's a thought. Like I don't put a lot of original content up. At least I'm going to start doing more, but like it's just it's just a different world out there than I am.
yeah,
For,
yeah. I mean, I feel like I'm kind of in the middle. Like there's times where I'll go ham on social media and post all kinds of different things, and then I take long breaks from it. I don't post anything, or I do like what you said, and I'll take somebody else's post and reshare it or whatever. And but yeah, now we're trying to kind of be a little more original, come up with our own content, and trying to grow our social medias and our trying to grow it all, I guess. But yeah, it's a different beast. And then on top of it, we're trying to learn more about the deer and elk, and becoming better hunters. And
like you said, probably taking it back. You said, like what we retain from how we've been doing these podcasts. Like, yeah, that is going to be interesting. Like, like I feel like years past, I'll binge watch like all the elk hunting stuff, all the deer hunting stuff. But like like I try to take it all in, and then I get out there and I just go through the woods. Like I don't know that I really comprehended everything that has been provided me through everybody else. And like you said, through doing this podcast, like hashing it out, talking about it, making fun of each other's for maybe thoughts or whatnot, like hopefully it's going to be helpful for this year to be like, okay, we've talked about this, like, no, we have to stick to this, this is this route here, or this this rut that I'm in here is my years of hunting in the past. It's okay to step out of that rut and make a new path or new rut.
yeah, trying to change it up. I mean,
Yeah.
all right. I'm picking up what you're saying, because like, I feel like the past couple of years that might have been some of my fault for not being successful, or not being successful is instead of really changing it up, I might have changed the area, but I still hunted the same.
Correct.
And obviously the way I was doing what most people do is hunt in the morning for a few hours, then hunt in the evening for a few hours. And I really feel like what I was missing there is I just wasn't hunting hard enough. I thought I was. I felt like I was. You were with me. We were hiking all over the mountain, or but it was only for a few hours in the morning, a few hours at night, and I look back at that and I go, one thing I could have done a little different was spend more time out there.
Well, it's like one of those things too. If you want to change the context a little bit, and let's call hunting a raffle, and your prize is the elk or the deer. And so how do you win? The odds of winning a raffle isn't all that great. But if you want your odds to go up, you buy more raffle tickets, or you do whatever you can to have more entries into that raffle, to have your name in that, to have more of your name in that hat. You're going to end up hopefully winning that prize. So with hunting being a raffle, how do you get your name more in the hat to win the prize? Well, you got to spend more time out in the woods.
Yeah. I mean, it kind of goes back to what we were saying about hanging out in the woods and the chances of seeing more activity
Right.
the more you're at. I mean, what we said in the beginning of being out there and seeing more activity, because the longer you're out there hunting, I couldn't get that out correctly.
But
so this is kind of another segue, but when we were talking about this, I have this issue, this conservation issue that I want to bring up. I was watching this documentary about the Smoky Mountains I think it's on the east coast of America. I'm not 100% sure where the Smoky Mountains are, but I think it's in America on the east coast. I should have probably done more of the research, but this really ticked me off. I was watching a documentary on the Wild Channel or Discovery Wild or whatever. I don't know. It's one of those channels, and they brought up the elk, and they said in the documentary, they said the elk were eliminated because of hunting, and they've been reintroduced over here, and now they're thriving. What really set me off was they blamed it on hunting, and I'm like, they're totally overlooking everything that actually happened there. Because of hunting, the elk are actually back in that area, because I could have some of my facts wrong, but I'm pretty sure I don't. So what they didn't say was because of free market hunting, the elk were eliminated out there. But through conservation and hunting, they got reintroduced by none other than the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. That's the part that I'm a little hazy on because I didn't do any of my research, but I'm going off on this because it really ticked me off that they tried to, they said that it was hunting that caused the elk to be extinct in the Smoky Mountains. And I was like, they're wrong. I know they're wrong. And I should have looked it up and got my facts straight before I said this on the podcast, but it ticked me off so bad because I'm like, because of hunting, you got to finish the whole statement. You can't just say because of hunting that they were exterminated, because what really happened was because of free market hunting, they were exterminated. But because of hunting and conservation and the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, they were reintroduced to that area, and now they're thriving. But that documentary totally skipped all that to paint their own narrative, and it ticked me off, man, because these people that don't like hunting, that's great that you don't like hunting, but like just leave the hunters alone. Leave the hunters alone, because the hunters have a 130-year track record of conservation and how it works. Your feelings, just have your feelings and how that works. I'm sorry, I'm getting like a little heated about it, but it made me so mad whenever I watched that documentary, and I'm like, that's why people watch that and they go, oh, hunting bad, and we need to make a stand against hunting, and they don't know the whole truth. And it makes me mad whenever they don't tell the truth, because they would rather paint their narrative and their bias than tell the truth. It just, God, it got me all fired up. And some of my facts may be wrong, and I might be part of the problem because I got all mad and I told my wife, I was like, that was ridiculous. I know that it's wrong. And then I didn't even look it up to fact check myself. So I could be totally wrong here and getting all fired up over nothing, but I don't think I am. And it just ticks me off that documentary would do that to try to spread their narrative.
Right.
And I think it's the Discovery Channel or whatever channel it is, but I already know that they don't like hunting. They don't ever like do anything for hunters. You know, they do all the wildlife stuff, but every chance they get, they kind of diss on hunting. And so, you know, they're all about animal rights. I'm all about animal rights too, but I also know through conservation, animals thrive. And you can't argue that. You can argue that with your feelings all you want, but you can't argue that because hunters have a 130-year track record of how that works. That was a hard segue, by the way, but I'm just saying, like, I just had to get that out. We were talking about, I don't know what brought it to my mind, but I just had to get that out. That's my little rant for tonight.
No, that's, you know, it's one of those things. Yeah. You know, over hunting, not paying it, you know, not just killed. I'm not sure it wasn't all just killed to kill, but, you know, yeah, not doing what was, doing what was needed to keep things thriving. Right.
Yeah. Well, I remember what you're talking about, retaining stuff. And whenever you said retaining stuff, I was like, oh yeah, because we did a whole thing about Boone and Crockett, and then through Boone and Crockett, we didn't ever talk about the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation. We might have brought them up a few times, but I remember whenever I was doing Boone and Crockett research, I also got in the weeds of the Rocky Mountain Elk Foundation, and I know for a fact that foundation helped reintroduce elk to the East Coast of America, where they haven't been in over 100 years. You tell me that organization was founded by 4 elk hunters in Montana. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't know. That just fired me up, you know. And I think not to try to get too far off in the weeds, but talking about all this as a couple dudes with a voice and making a podcast, and we're talking about hunting, and hunting is our passion, but also doing this podcast and having a voice, you know, I want to use that voice for sticking up for conservation rights. I want to use that voice for you know, helping the hunters out. I mean, you know, I think the hunting community is pretty strong, and I feel like I'm seeing it more and more. You keep hearing of more and more people, more and more people all the time, like getting into archery hunting, rifle, elk hunting. You know, the hunting community is strong, but there is a lot of people that still don't like hunting, and I don't think it's the fact that they don't like it. They just don't understand it. And because they don't understand it, they want to stop it. And it's fine if you don't understand it. It's fine if your dad didn't teach you nothing about the outdoors. That's fine. But I don't try to stop them from, you know, taking hikes out by the lake because I don't understand it. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
just, if you don't understand it, maybe get educated about it. And so all I'm saying is, you know, like, I feel like as we get more immersed in this and we, you know, grow or whatever that looks like in the future, I want to do more conservation work and stand up for the conservation rights. So that's my second rant.
Should we just turn this over to Eric? What else we got?
Let's see.
I was gonna. I probably should have shared this at the beginning of podcast, but a few weeks ago when I was out scouting. So we've talked about before about how I have a hard time going to sleep, and I take like a melatonin pill to help me go to sleep. So I got back in from scouting, and I think I was going to bed at like midnight. And so I open up my little bottle of pills and set them down, or I take one out, set them down. How did I do it? And I had a bottle of water that I was going to use to swallow it with.
Yeah.
No, that's what it was. I didn't take my pills out yet. I got to backtrack. I opened up my bottle of water, set the lid down, and then went and dumped the bottle of water in my hand, trying to take a pill out. I sat there, my hand gets wet, and I was like, "What the heck? What happened to the pill?"
That's good. That's funny. So you must have been pretty dang tired. You probably didn't almost need that melatonin.
I don't think I did, but it was like one of those deals. I was like, I want to make sure I go to sleep. And I remember I opened up the water, set the lid down, and you take your hand on top of it and turn it upside down, and water just went all over. And I was like, what the hell? Oh, that's not my pill. That's the water.
That's funny. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I did something like that. I know, I'm sure I've done plenty of them, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. But that's good stuff. That's good comedy relief right there. It got a little intense there for a second, but you reeled it back in.
Oh man. But yeah, so now we get to know Joe and Eric a little bit more.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We need to do one of those again on a podcast. Do like a couple other random questions, or I can't remember what podcast we did that on, but that was kind of fun. Just having a few questions.
Maybe sit down and talk a little bit about how, I think we've mentioned it through some podcasts, but just kind of give a little bit of our background, how we met, and where we come from, what got us to where we're at today, and whatnot.
Yeah, that'd be a fun podcast.
Yeah. Maybe reach out through social media and see if there's any questions people want us to answer in that type of a setting.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be great. I think that'd work good. So one other thing to kind of talk about before we wrap her up, I think, is just episode 18. I mean, I don't know, man. It's cool. We're plugging away. We're almost at 20. I feel so good about 20.
I just remember like when we first started. I mean, I felt we're sitting here talking like it's like talking about the old glory days when we hashed it out, battled it out to get to where we're at. But like in a way, like episode 18. I just remember like back when we started, I know it's only been 2 months or since April, but like counting out and be like, man, before my hunt, we're going to be like at episode 18, episode 20, like Eric's hunt, we're going to be, episode almost 30 or 40 by then.
Yeah. Wow, man. That's crazy.
And it's just like at the time, it was like, man, is that even possible? But it's just kind of fun to, to sit down and have our personal goals to do these things, and just, having them being ticked off, checking those boxes off. It's kind of, even though, like it's only 18, it's still a huge milestone for us.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, it's all been a bunch of little baby steps to this point, and now we're starting to make some big leaps. I mean, we're just one podcast at a time. The greatest thing is like having somebody like Joe. We're like-minded. We kind of want the same thing. We just have a lot of alignments with our thoughts and our goals. and not everybody can do this. I mean, I hate to say it that way, but it's true. I mean, a lot of people would have probably gave up around episode 5 or something, and here we are still plugging away. And I mean, I think a part of it is it's fun. We get to talk to each other, just
Yeah.
part of that is recorded, and but we're having a ton of fun, and I mean, there's some really big positives, and I mean, really not any negatives besides maybe just wanting to be a little bigger by now, but still, I mean, 18 episodes in, and we haven't skipped a Tuesday. We're planning on doing more content this weekend, and then more than likely, unless something does come up. Oh, I take that back. We did skip one Tuesday because my daughter was being born, but we made up for it that Friday.
We did.
We were both dog tired. That one probably I don't know how, I can't remember what episode that was now, but I remember thinking of like, we are not in the best shape to do this podcast, but we made up for it, and here we are. But so I guess to correct myself, we haven't missed a week since we started, and we don't plan on it anytime soon. If anything, we might drop a couple episodes. We either might hold it to where we're dropping it how we have been, or maybe we drop an extra episode this month or something. I don't know what that looks like. We haven't really talked about it, but we plan on doing more content this next couple weeks, and man, I don't know. It's just, we're going somewhere with it, and I'm pretty excited about it. I hope everybody else is excited about it, like some of our OGs, if you will, is excited about it with us, because I think we really have something. We're still working out the kinks, if you will, and but at the same time, I mean, we're getting better every week, and I feel like the show's kind of becoming more content quality, and yeah, I'm just excited about the whole journey, and I'm just glad to be doing it with you also, Joe.
Yeah, I'm glad that I'm I'm glad you're here too, Eric. No,
not to put you on the spot or anything.
I'll just open up my heart and let it all out.
Yeah, I want you to tell everybody that you love me.
I love you.
Love you too, buddy.
But yeah, no, it's copy that everything Eric said. It's kind of fun, to be able to. The big part is the name, the Struggling Hunters. That's just who we are, and hopefully we keep going. And I don't know what that name will ever change from the Struggling Hunters, because no matter how good we get, there's always going to be something we're struggling on. But and hopefully we're always learning, and whoever's watching us, all of you, hopefully you're learning too. We're giving you something, but it's fun. I hope you enjoy our journey as much as we enjoy our journey so far. If I can put that in the words.
Yeah. But, well, I've kind of said it before, but you're talking about if the name will ever change, and man, even if we got our animals 90 to 95% of the time, I think it'd be pretty arrogant to change our name to like the most awesomest hunters. People will be like, who are these guys? I don't know. It might actually get us more traction, because they'll probably want to test what we're actually.
Are we really claiming that we're really as good as we claim?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe that should have been our marketing technique, just to call us that, and then.
Right. Well, I guess we got to, we can. Yeah. We're talking about, no one knows how bad we really are. There's no proof of it out there.
Well, that's true. Yeah, we've never recorded it until this year.
Right.
The 2020's already kicked everybody in the face, so welcome to our channel.
Right.
Might as well keep going, I guess, in 2020. No, I think I think our success rate doing public hunts, I mean, that's the thing. Public hunts, um, I know up behind you, where you live, I mean, that gets hit pretty hard. Where I'm at gets hit pretty hard. I mean, there's a lot of challenges in there to, that kind of play against us. And I mean, I'm feeling more confident this year, probably because we've been talking about hunting since when did we start? May or
April.
April?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about hunting since April, so I mean, I feel more confident about it this year than I probably ever have, but for both of us. But we've definitely hunted all of our lives and tried to get better each year, and I think doing the channel like kind of pushes us to even try to be better too.
Yeah.
That's the thing is like doing this kind of stuff, doing a podcast, making content. Uh, for a lot of people, they might watch for entertainment, whether we're making fools of ourselves or we're actually being awesome out there in the woods, whatever it is. It also helps us though, like as individual hunters, as hunting buddies, I mean, it helps us become better hunters because we're always talking about it. Um, and I don't know. I like it for as much as like enjoyment that I hope that the people that listen to our podcast, for as much enjoyment as they get, we get just as much or more for like self improvement, self gratification, and
It's all for you, Eric. It's all for
yeah, yeah. No, but it really is though, because it like I don't know. I feel like I'm not finding the right word, but it like
well, just like just getting the stuff, learning. Uh, by doing this, we're bettering ourselves.
yeah.
Yeah, like it kind of there's it's kind of twofold. It's a kind of accountability going on because we're sitting here telling people what we want to do. And how often you go out in the woods and you're like, well, no one's gonna know if I just sit under this tree for the next 5 hours or 6 hours. Like it's no one's holding me accountable. But in a way, doing this holds us accountable to try to show people that we're actually trying to do what we're saying.
Mm-hmm.
And at the same time, it's something we enjoy doing. So yeah, it gives us opportunity to do something we like to do.
Exactly.
And that's fun too. Kind of selfish in a way, but if you're, why not? If you enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, that's the whole thing is just have fun with everything you do. That's what we're doing. And I mean, yeah, we're putting it out there for people to critique. We're putting it out there for people to enjoy, but at the end of the day, I mean, it's kind of what we want to do. It's kind of where we want to go with this, and putting yourself out there like this is, I mean, I feel like episode 18, it's a little easier. I'm not, like when we first started, I was like every word, every little thing that I said or did or thought, I was like all nervous. I was like, oh man, we're going to get critiqued. We're going to get, oh, I'm so stupid. Why do I say that? But now I'm like episode 18, I'm like way more relaxed. And I'm like, I say stupid stuff all the time. Who cares? As long as it's entertaining, I don't really care. So it's fun, and I mean, almost hit that 20 mark, man. I don't know. We should wear like some party hats or something and some of those little,
Uh,
I don't know what they're called.
I don't know what they're called either.
Little paper things that you blow into and they like
Yeah.
unwind. And a gazebo, or is that what it's called?
Gazoo.
Gazoo. Yeah, thanks.
Eric's building a gazebo.
I knew it. Yeah. Yeah. Never mind. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Well, episode 20 might be out there in the woods too. Maybe. Or maybe not. I don't know. It'll be a surprise. You guys should tune in and listen.
True. True.
Oh, but with all jokes aside though, man, it's been a good time. And I think me and Joe are kind of just rambling on to ramble.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, we
with
might want to button it up.
yeah. So with that said, guys, really appreciate y'all listening to the Struggling Hunters. I hope you're having fun, like Joe said earlier, having fun with us. As Joe's little sister said, it kind of feels like whenever she listened to us, like we're just kind of sitting around the campfire, kind of, talking. And that's kind of the environment that we want to put out there is just a positive, fun environment. And we're just having fun with this. We're talking about something that we really love. And with that said, it's just been a lot of fun. So with that said, thanks for listening to the Struggle and Hunters, episode 18 in the books. And you all have a good one. And we will talk to you in the next one.
Yeah, happy hunting. Good luck out there. Have fun. No matter what you do at the end of the season, you're always going to have a story. And thanks for listening. And we'll catch up with you guys again.
We're out.
Peace.
Laters.
Hasta mañana.
Hasta la vista.